Hello, and welcome to the show. As you know, I'm Professor Whitfield, and I'm the director of the Harlem Neighborhood Writers, or as we like to call ourselves, Harlem Renaissance 2. The Harlem Neighborhood Writers Group was founded in 2014 and is comprised of over 400 members. If you're a writer, whether you are a novice or already published, and are interested in being part of our group, just contact us via the information on the screen. It's free to join, and all are welcome. In today's show, we are presenting you a well-known playwright, Miss J.E. Franklin. Miss Franklin has written several plays since 1969, but is best known for her play Black Girl, which she received a Drama Desk Award. Black Girl was originally presented on television as a teleplay production, then staged at an off-Broadway production and on to a feature film adaptation written for the screen by Miss Franklin and directed by none other than the late Mr. Ossie Davis. Today's reading is taking place at the Sisters Uptown Bookstore, which is located on 156th Street and Amsterdam Avenue, perfectly located at the intersection of Harlem and Washington Heights. Miss Franklin will be reading a short story titled The Day I Overheard the Grown-Ups Whispering About Race. It is part of a collective series of work titled Day Plays of Addie Pearl Henderson, which is part of the Race Aid Project focusing on race relations throughout our times. Well, enough from me. I present to you the 1972 Drama Desk Award winner, Miss J.E. Franklin.
Okay, I'd like for people to pay close attention to how I end the story. This is a short story, and it's in that series that I'm working on what I call the Day Plays of Addie Pearl Henderson. This one is called The Day I Overheard the Grown-Ups Whispering About Race. This piece was done at the Dwyer Cultural Center in January to jumpstart a project that I've been working on called the Race Aid Project. The day I overheard the grown-ups whispering about race. When the constable came into the school to take Miss Austin away, we were all frantic with fear. She didn't go quietly. As she was being led past the open door of each classroom, she shouted into us a defiant message for all to hear. Keep studying, children. Study, so that one day you can stand with me and fight with me. Teachers tried to hold the children back and shield them from the scene, but they leapt from their seats and pressed through the doors until they were all in the hallway. An emergency assembly was announced over the PA system, and all classes were quickly ushered into the auditorium, which fell tomb quiet when the principal appeared. Children, Miss Austin has been taken from us. There's no cause for worry at this point. However, Miss Austin will need our help. You will each be given a note to take home to your parents on what they can do to have her returned to us. In the meantime, how many of you in here have family members or other grown-ups who talk to you about race? My hand was the first to be recognized. My big brothers told me about race. They say the best races is the 220, the 440, the 880, and the 100-yard dash. The back of the auditorium where the upper grade sat exploded with laughter. I didn't understand what the laughter was about. The only races I'd understood were the ones I'd run with my big brothers on the road that stretched past our house, all the way from the corner of Market and Swagcart, and a half-mile stretch without intersection until it reached the railroad tracks on those glorious nights when there was no traffic. Our parents let us turn the road into a play street, which quickly filled with roller skaters, scooters, foot races. My brothers always let me win on a warm, smooth blacktop street, lit by only the moon and stars, my dress tail flying against the wind like a kite, me racing barefoot as I inhaled the aroma of water guns, the odor of mosquito smokes, all to the sound of happy crickets. The principal restored order, and did its best to help us wrap our young minds around the mystery of the race crime our teacher had committed. You all know Miss Austin is colored, like all of us here in this school. And like many of us in this community, some of us are white in color, but we've been assigned to the colored race. Everything we do and have, even the books we touch and read, must be separate. And so when Miss Austin borrowed books from the white library and returned them after they'd been touched by some of you, the law says she violated the race laws. Miss Austin has been working with others to change that law so that we may all use the library as equal citizens of this country. I hurried home with the note I'd been given and saw that children were already going door to door to collect money for our teacher. My mother had company and took the note as if she'd been expecting it. Can hear y'all what Addie done brought. One of them notes. Ain't no use in you asking me, can you go? Because you ain't going nowhere. I don't want to hear nothing about whose children's mamas is letting them go. They mamas ain't got no children in my house. Now, your daddy just got home from work and said all on his job, they questioned him because they know you go to that school. He don't want you mixed up in this mess. Did you have your hands on them books, Addie? You bet not let your daddy find out you had your hands on them devilish books. That teacher gonna have to pay for every book y'all touch. Now you see why I tell y'all to keep your hands off of other people's things? We ain't got no money to be paying for no books. You can cry all you want to. You better drive before I give you something to cry for. Get your tail on in that room and get out of them good clothes. And go on outside and play. I thought my heart would break. Miss Austin had never let us touch the books for fear we have peanut butter and jelly on or mayonnaise on our fingers. She would read the books to us, carefully turning the pages herself to show us the pictures. We would jostle and elbow each other to get up close to the books, though many of us could not read the words. The next day, the headlines of the white newspapers read, "Imposter passes for white at town library." The colored newspapers read, "Colored teacher arrested for using the library." The colored newspapers called Miss Austin brave, courageous. White newspapers called her wolf in sheep's clothing, invisible Negro, leopard without spots, communist, troublemaker. We children felt we were to blame for Miss Austin's arrest. It was on our account that she had borrowed the books, for our school library did not have the ones she wanted us to read. She would drive across town, bring the books to the school, read them to us, and return them when the last page had been read. We loved her for it. One day, someone followed her from the library into the colored ward, and she was reported. The charges were impersonating a white woman, with full knowledge that Negro blood was running through her veins, impersonating a white person during the commission of a crime, defiling white property, endangering the health and welfare of white people through the contamination of their property, the books. Miss Austin's defense was that she'd never claimed to be white, that the librarian had not asked her racial identity, and had willingly allowed her to check out the books. The books had all been returned undamaged, but the charges stood. Before she could be released, she was ordered to pay for every book she had borrowed. I changed for my school clothes, but I refused to go outside to play. I hid under my bed, hungry to understand this race, which was not a running race. She belonged to the NAACP, so they tell me, don't she? One of the ladies was saying. You reckon that's why she did it? You reckon they sent her to do one of them test cases? These white folks is just double-headed when it comes to this race mess. Now, we be all in their home, cooking their food, touching everything they got in there. Listen, y'all, I works for this lady that got me doing the laundry. One day, her husband walks in and sees me folding his drawers. He just stands there, giving me that surprised look like, what you doing folding my drawers? It must have just hit him that I'm the one been washing his dirty drawers all this time. Now, who the hell did he think had been doing it? His lazy-ass wife? Lo and behold, next thing I know, he done vamped on me, all smoochy, trying to guide my hand down here. Oops, where your child at, Catherine? She still in the room? When I heard my mother's feet coming toward the door, I froze, afraid to even breathe. She better not be in there. I done told her about hanging under me, trying to listen to grown folks' business. You Addie, you? Well, I don't see her. I reckon she went outside like I told her. Ain't Miss Austin's daddy white? How come he don't get her out of this mess? Oh, well, I reckon he can't claim her, just like the rest of these white men around here, just preaching against this miscegenation, whatever what they call it, miscegenation, whatever it is. Trying to brainwash the white woman's ass, I suppose. Mighty funny they ain't brainwashed their own ass. They still having quarters with colored women. This white man sure lucky he ain't put his hands on my dog mother, 'cause I would tell everybody what he done and who he done it with. You and me both, sugar. I'd get me one of them bull horns. Wonder how they fixes it in their minds to be with colored women, but get all spooked when one of them touch their books. Now they done burnt the books, but they're still making the lady pay for them. Shoot, Miss Austin ain't got but a drop of colored blood in her. And even that little drop must have dropped down to her feet, 'cause can't nobody even see it. She got that fly hair and them blue-green eyes. I don't know what they think that little drop gonna do to them. Reckon they scared it's gonna turn them color. Well, the damn sure did turn her color, now didn't it? The room exploded with laughter, and the women continued to joke about the matter until the visit ended. I didn't understand what the laughter was about. That night, it was hard for me to sleep. The scene kept replaying itself, with the constable leading Miss Austin through the hallway, her hands cuffed, her words of defiance. Keep on studying, children, study, so that one day you can fight with me. I didn't know if I was awake or dreaming, but there she was, standing at the foot of my bed. Miss Austin, I know why the constable took you away. Because what you got inside you is so strong, one little drop can stop a white body from being white and turn a white person colored. And then, to let me know I had it correct, she gave the special sign she always gave us in class whenever we get our arithmetic or grammar correct. She wasn't winking us. That night, she winked at me. Fight with me, Addie. Stand with me and fight with me until we're all free. Yes, ma'am, Miss Austin. I will. I promise I will. My mother stuck her head into the room. What's wrong with you? Who you in here talking to? Get your tail on up out that bed and get ready for school. Get on out of here. That morning, I ran all the way to school and was the first one there. The schoolyard filled quickly with other children who looked for Miss Austin's car. When she had not arrived by the ringing of the bell, we knew she would not come that day. Each day, I would hurry to school and wait at the edge of the schoolyard to be the first to yell, "I saw first!" But she didn't come. Still, we waited. Each day, we waited until we were no longer pupils at the Atherton Colored Elementary School.
I was truly transported by that, Jay. It was excellent. It was excellent. It grabbed me and I was in it. Thank you.
For real, I was riveted. And I kept trying to think about if you know, the ending and if there was anything that you wanted from us. And I think the ending was perfect because that is where we are, you know, but someone will make the sacrifice and it truly is a sacrifice. They don't just come back and everything be okay the next day. So it was a lesson for the children and a reminder for us. And I thought the ending, although it was sad, was right on point and nailed it. No other words necessary.
I thought that it was good, and I thought what was important was how you ended it, because those of us who are concerned basically about children, in particular Black children, to pick up in the 21st century, because really too much hasn't changed. Too much hasn't changed. And if anybody who's going to change things, is going to pick up from this teacher, is going to be the millennials.
I think it was still trying to figure out the word to use, because the fact that you touched on a child's perspective, and you think that children sometimes just run from one idea to the next idea, but a lot of them hold on to an idea so they can try to understand it. It was such a strong thing for her to try to understand. And everybody kept telling her, no, girl folks business. But she's just like, no, like, this is so important to me. And I like how it showed that she grew through the process of how it happened, just trying to understand it and then trying to figure out how to deal with it as well, but still standing strong. And that's as you were just saying, how can we keep that going with the millennials instead of just brushing it off like it's just done? It's not done, it's still here. And just that in itself just showed, it was like, well, we kept doing this until we were no longer students. That means it was never over for them, and it's not over still right now. And that it was strong from the beginning and strong all the way to the end.
Right.
That was amazing.
When is this coming out? When is that? No, I'm very
You have
serious. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I want to get this book. I really want it. This is amazing. You know, they say that when you don't want to do something, when you're trying to discipline yourself in anything that you want to do, when you don't want to do it, that's when you should push yourself more. What am I talking about? I'm, suffering from sciatica pain, so it's making me not want to go. And writing is important to me, and one part of me didn't want to go. And then I see the snow, and I'm like, maybe we should go back home, and I pushed. And I'm so glad I came. Amazing. I know you came here for us to give our input, but I don't know what I can tell you that one could correct.
Just don't stop.
You said something it may appear simplistic, but it's extremely powerful. When the girl said something about that you just have one drop of black blood, what's the big deal? But it's so powerful. And I also learned something about, there was some history being taught here, no offense to anyone, but when you're negated and put down and you're thought you're being made to feel dumb. But like you said, the contrast, we can cook your food, we can do your clothes, but we can't touch your book. So what is this really about? Is it really inferiority? Or is it oppression? Because if we're so rotten, then we shouldn't cook your food, we shouldn't touch your clothes. That's worse than your books. So I learned something. I started to get the psychology of the oppressor. And the final thing, I learned something from you today, the power of dialogue. I don't like writing dialogue. I hate it. It's cumbersome. I just like to tell people and goad them where I want them to think. But sometimes in writing history pieces or narratives, it can be boring. But I've seen that dialogue pulls you in. You get because every piece that was from what the mother said, to what the girl said, now I see how I can incorporate dialogue in a history piece so that it's not boring and it draws you in and you understand this is what I'm saying. And I take you into my world. So thank you, and I sincerely really want to get that book. That is so good.
I don't have an office yet. Right now, we're just trying to put them on the stage. There are a number of young girls between the ages of 10 and about 17 years old, and they're out there. And, and so I've been talking with their parents to tell them that if they do plays, it will center them. And so I gave the first three that I did here, I gave them to 3 different young girls. And it's bringing them in already. They haven't even performed the thing yet. They haven't performed it yet, but you can see it flipping their lives because they relate to the character. And they have something in their hand that they can read and study and memorize, and they're going to get up on the stage and do it. And so we're just trying to find a grant, some kind of money to do it in the space that's been offered to us, to let them do all of the, if I get 4 or 5 young girls in that age range, then we'll showcase them.
That's what I thought.
Because the
right there.
teacher's reading to them.
Yes, yes.
Maybe they don't understand it. But it would be, what, third grade, probably third grade.
Is this fiction or is it an actual event that took place?
Well, you know, when you're writing something, now in terms of the teacher passing for white, yeah, that's true. It really did happen. So you know, you bring the characters out to tell their story, and this is how it comes out. You know, it's just everything is engendered from inside me and the experiences that I've had, encounters with other people and situations, and so you know, you just turn it into art. But, there are a number of incidents that happen which people in the community who looked like they were white ran into white people who found them out. And in many cases, they were treated more harshly by white people than visible black people. But the one-drop laws are these laws that are on the books in several states, based on the principle of the invisible Indian, the invisible Negro, and the invisible Jew. So that if anyone was hiding inside a white body, they would be sought out within the white community. These laws were only instituted within the white community because they were trying to purge the white community. So if anyone was in the white community and had ancestral ties to anyone from below the Sahara Desert, that person would be removed from the community, no matter how white he looked, how blonde the hair, or how blue the eyes. They had to come out.
Yeah. Give her a hand. I hope that you found our presentation enlightening, entertaining, and most importantly, educational. Watch us next time when we will showcase. We're going to start calling him Edgar Allan Poe, Michael. Scary damn story. Before closing, I want to thank the New York Public Library. Their branches have been gracious hosts and allow us to meet regularly. I also want to thank Ms. Jennifer P. Wilson, who is the proprietor of the Sisters Uptown Bookstore. Should you like more information about the Harlem Neighborhood Writers or to become a member, contact us via the information provided at the closing of the show. Remember, it's free to join and all are welcome. Who knows? Maybe we will be showcasing you. See you next time. The Harlem Renaissance lives on.